welcome to Art Club. I'm Miss Liz and it's Shark Week. So we're going to be creating this awesome ocean scene with a shark in it. This is created using oil pastels and baby oil. So if you registered for this program, you will have already picked up your kit from the New Lenox Library. And if you're watching this video and you want to follow along at home, let's find out what the supplies are that you'll need. So everybody has a piece of white cardstock, some Q-tips, a container of baby oil. I have vegetable oil with me right now, but you're going to be using baby oil, and different colors of oil pastels. Let me show you this one more time, this beautiful ocean. You can see the sun up here coming down into the water and the sharks just swirling around. So that's similar to what yours is going to look like. So I want to talk a little bit about the oil pastels and different ways that you can do this project. All right, so this one was created, and I left some areas here where I didn't do any blending, just so you can kind of see that basically you can create this piece of art almost by scribbling your colors around the paper. So everything was drawn on there with a circle in mind, not perfect circles, just scribbles. And then we used baby oil, and this side I used Q-tips, which is what I think looks the best and it's the easiest for us to get this project done. And then this side I tried something different. I tried using a cotton ball. So it looks a little bit different, but I felt like it was pulling too much of the color off the paper. And then this one, this was done with the sun off to the side a little bit to give it a little look. So when you're creating yours, you can put it, off to the side, in the middle. And this is another example of how I just drew the colors around in a circle. I didn't color it all in and left some spots and then blended the colors together. So this side I used a Q-tip. This side, I started blending it with my finger. So some of you might want to do that because it does look a little bit different. And if you're going to use your finger, you're going to want to use more oil pastels, and you're going to want to fill it in a little bit more, just so you have more on your paper to blend. So let me just show you how that works. So you have to press really hard, and it does get messy, but art is fun when you get messy. So let me just show you a little bit more. Adding colors. We started with the lighter colors in the middle and worked our way out. And then as you go along, you can just start adding little pieces here and there to get the effect that you like. See that? So this side looks a little bit brighter because it's got a little bit thicker oil pastel on there, and we're just blending it with our finger, so we're not pulling as much off. I did say that when I used the cotton ball, it did pull a lot off on this one. Q-tips will pull it off too, but not quite as much. And then here is one more example. This one was done strictly with the Q-tip, and again, you can see that it's literally just almost scribbled in there like that. There's white in the center and just scribbled around. Now our sample that I showed in the beginning of this video, this is much darker, and a thicker layer of oil pastel was put on here and blended with a Q-tip. Let's get going. So normally I would recommend that you open up your white paper bag or lay it down on your work surface so we don't make a big mess. I don't have a paper bag with me today, so I just have a white piece of paper under there, but it's always a good idea to have something underneath the piece that you're working on. So I've already got some white oil pastel in the center here, so I am going to take my lightest blue color and go around the part that I colored in with the white. So that's just going to give me an idea of where I'm starting. So I'm just going to start drawing circles. You can do it this way. You can just do it this way. Little short strokes around. They don't have to be even on each side, so you could see that I'm a little bit farther out over on this side than I am on that side. And if you're wondering, how much do I put on there? Well, we really won't know until you actually start the blending process. So take a look at some of these samples again and see. And it's nice to know that once that baby oil dries, you can actually go back and add a little bit more on there. So that's really good too. And next, I'm going to get my next color shade up of the blue. So I actually lined up my from lightest to darkest with a little green one on the side. So if you want to do that ahead of time to make that a little bit easier for you, go right ahead. And now I'm just going to start going around. So this sample that I'm making, I am going to just be using the Q-tip with the baby oil. I'm not going to be doing my finger. Maybe I'll do a little portion of it just so you can see again how to do that. So if you're going to be doing it that way and not using your finger, you don't have to fill in every spot. However, it does look really nice if you want to take that time to fill it in a little bit more. And that's how this one came out. All right, I'm going to grab the next one. So you can just see the colors change a little bit. And that's going to help give it the depth. This is going to be the sun where the shark is looking up or swimming below. Now you don't have to start adding all your extra colors in there now, because when we're going to be doing that blending process, that's going to help add that in there. But you can see how there's a little bit of the green here, and then there's some over here, and there's some of the purple that gives it that dark, deep ocean color over here. So let's wait to add some of that extra stuff until we get going on our blending and see what we really need. So I know this purple looks a little bit like it's on the light side, but once it starts blending with this darker blue, it's going to look really nice. All right, so get your oil ready, and you're just going to dip your Q-tip in there and play around with it at first, because we don't want huge puddles and we want to be able to spread it out. So when you add this oil to oil pastels, it really basically turns it into paint. So I like to just try to spread that oil around so we don't get too much on the paper. And it just helps with blending. So you can see I've only really put my Q-tip in the oil twice, and I've gotten almost all of the center completed. So just to give you an idea how much oil you should be putting on there. And I'm going to dip it in there again and start on the darker colors. It does spread very far. So far with my sample on this one, I notice I definitely have way more of the lighter colors than some of these other ones. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep going, and then I'm going to decide, hey, do I really like that the sun is showing through so much more, or do I want to go back in a little bit and add more of the darker shades? So everyone is going to have their own version of what this awesome shark picture looks like. So yours does not need to look like mine. It's going to look like the way that you envision what the ocean looks like. Just like when you're putting your shark on, you know, you might want to put it on the outer edge, or you might want to put it right in the center. The best thing about art, it's all what we view and what we want ours to look like. So you might have to switch your Q-tip out here and there. If it gets a little too soggy, or if it starts falling apart, just go ahead and switch to a new Q-tip. So depending on how this looks when I'm done, I may have to come back and add a little bit here. But I'll let that area dry and then decide in a little bit. Sometimes when you're working with oil pastels and baby oil, it's just the right perfect combination that it will drag over that color to fill in those empty spots. Oh, there we go. And sometimes it won't, just depends. So I've got a little bit of extra oil over here, so I'm just going to try to push it over. So I'm definitely going to have to let this dry a little bit, come back and add some darker up here in the corner. All right, that looks pretty good. However, I'm going to let it dry for just a little bit, and then I'm going to come in and touch up some areas. Let me show you these samples again. I do like the way this dark looks. How about you? So some of us are going to like it really blended in together so you don't see any lines, and some of us are going to enjoy looking at those lines. So pick out your favorite way that it looks and just keep working, and I'm sure it's going to be beautiful. All right, it feels a little bit drier, so I'm going to take right now I think this is my darkest blue. Let me try this one. And just add a little bit more in with this purple. Now when we were making this one, I didn't add any of that green in there, I don't think. So I'm just going to add a little touch of green here and there. I think that really helps give it a little depth. All right. Grab a new Q-tip. That's the best part. This will dry and you can just keep adding. So you can take your time and get it to the right look that you're going for. Well, I think I'm going to let that dry again and get a little bit more darker around here. But in the meantime, I'm going to try to blend a little bit of that green that I put in there. So I'm just looking for the areas that I did put that green in. Blend it in with those blues. Well, looks like it's a really bright sunny day in my ocean. All right, let's see. How's that look? I think that looks pretty good. How does yours look? I think I'm going to stop right there because then all of the ones that I've created look just a little bit different. So go ahead, keep working on yours. Let it dry in between when you want to add more on there and get it to look just how you want it to look. And then go ahead and add your shark. I decided I want to add a little bit more right here. I'm actually using the blue side when I was doing the dark and just adding a little bit of that darker shade from whatever's left on the Q-tip in the center there. All right, everyone, here's how mine turned out. I added my shark on there. Looks like it's a bright sunny day compared to some of those other ones that I created. And the shark is just swimming up towards the top of the ocean. Well, I hope you had fun doing this shark project, and I will see you soon at the library. If you want to share your piece of art with me, please email it to youth@newlenoxlibrary.org, or you can post it in the comment section of our Facebook post with this video. Bye-bye.